New fast flat for you. New fast flat for you. That was your fastest lap of the session. Just set your fastest lap of the session. You cut that corner and got a slow down penalty. That was your fastest lap of the session. New fastest lap for you. You've got about 5 laps of fuel. You've got wheel damage. Looks like one of your wheels is out of alignment. You'll have less grip out there. You've got wheel damage. We got damage on the front end.
Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial video for the week 9 of the IMSA series here this week at Road America. But yeah, heading to the turn 1, straight line, about 75%. You can see that I'm releasing the throttle before starts breaking the flow of the corner. The goal is to have a nice apex speed and be back on throttle at mid-corner. Full throttle opening the steering wheel is important too if you are in keeping the steering wheel angle to the right too much towards the end. It's probably the sign that you are understeering and losing time, scrubbing the front lip. We are using the maximum track as we can. Um, Most of the time it will be the curb and a little bit of the tarmac section or the concrete section behind the curb. You see in gray here before the gravel and the grass. And here in this case, it's fully over the over the concrete area. Try to be back in time on track without having more than half of the car over the grass or the gravel at any time here. And it will be the case on many corners on this track. Starting to brake at the 2 panel here, more or less, maybe a tiny bit later, about 5-10 meters. 2 panel on the left, we see it here. And there's a white line corresponding to it, so that makes the life easy for us. Braking at 70% in the straight line, shifting down to third gear and then second gear after the turn in. Turning to the right, um, at the end of this wall or the fence here on the left, reducing the brakes, catching the inside curb, the right tires over the curb, trying to stay on the apex up to almost the end of the curb here. You can see that I'm using tread braking on the entry. There's a compression, nice and smooth on the entry as well. And being back on throttle progressively helps the car rotate. Very important to have the car not having understeer again to have the greatest speed possible on the exit. We'll use the concrete area a little bit on the exit, not having more than half of the car on the gravel though. Straight, heading to the turn 5, big braking zone here. We have the 3 and the 2 panel, and just right after the 3 panel, there's kind of a cross on the ground around here. We don't see it very well here, but we see much better in the seam. I'm releasing the throttle and starting to brake right after. You can see that I'm not quite too close to the gravel on the right. It's because I will straighten the steering wheel and go wide to widen up the entry for the left-hand side corner, which is called in a hairpin, even though it's just a little more than 90 degrees angle corner. Brake hard in a compression 80%. Shifting down progressively to first gear. We have the curb making a slight turn to the left. This is our turning point, more or less. We want to cross back the curb just when the tarmac changes here. And this will guide us to the apex, even though the apex is hidden behind a window pillar for a while. Taking these references will help you get to the apex, reducing the brakes, of course, catching the inside curb, fully not touching the grass on the inside. There's a hole and it's compromising the traction, getting back on throttle a little bit before the curb or a little bit before the apex, opening the steering wheel, maximizing the exit speed, using the full curb on the outside without getting onto the gravel because it's slowing down the car here. Staying on the right side here and starting to brake. We don't see it very well here, but there's kind of change of color on the walls on the right. But yeah, it's quite difficult to find out a breaking point just as the track is starting um, to get over the hill. Right now is my breaking point, not braking too hard, 40%. The reason is the car is very much unloaded, starting to turn to left under the bridge, shifting down to first gear because we need to anticipate the turn in because the car will understeer over the crest here, reducing the brakes. Very smooth. You can see that I'm not having any pedal input here. It helps the car with the stability. We'll use the maximum curb on the inside. Once again, getting back progressively on the throttle. We'll use quite a lot of the track here on the outside, quite a lot of the concrete area, as long as you get back to the track in time without getting enough track, it's fine. The following kink is flat out. Just notice the tire mark closing into the white line. This is our turning point to the right. You might need to release a little bit the throttle in the first on the outlap. Here we use the maximum curb on the right, a little bit of the curb on the left. Try to be out of the curb after the curb because there's a hole in the grass. So once again, it's bouncing the car for nothing. Getting back to the right side, there's the 3 panel. We start braking just right after the 3 panel, maybe half a third of the distance between the 3 and the 2. Braking hard. We have a compression, maybe one of the hardest braking zone on the track, simply because we have the compression here helping 80-85%, shifting down to first gear. Maybe a little bit too hard on the brakes, but yeah, turning to the left before the 1 panel and the white line corresponding to it, reducing the brakes, shifting down to first gear, catching the inside curb here. The left tire is close to the grass on the inside, but not touching the grass is making the car slide a little bit. There's a hole in the curb. It's making the car lean to the left. With a little bit of camber, it can help getting back on throttle at this point. Full throttle progressively. First gear, the car is a little bit twitchy, using a little bit of the curb, but not getting too much beyond the curb because the concrete area is ending very early. Getting back to the left, direction change to the right, smooth. Sorry, I need to get back a little bit for the entry of the corner. I'm not getting to the apex too early here. I really want to spend a little bit of time full throttle, having inside the apex behind the wiper here, but not really at it yet. There's a row of gravel on the inside, and I will reduce progressively the throttle in fourth gear to engage the car in a little bit more rotation to catch back the apex finally towards the end of the, the row of the gravel, maybe even later. And now I will shift down to third gear and use a little bit of brakes to try to make the car rotate. If you're not using the brakes, it's fine. I'm not too far away. I had the apex. The car is leaving the inside a little bit now because of the understeer, but that's very much normal. And getting back on throttle progressively, be patient. The car should be fine. And I'm getting back on throttle a little bit before the row of gravel on the right side appearing again. Full throttle as soon as I can, of course. Maintaining the car on the right, shifting up on fourth gear. I'm having my second apex before the beginning of the curve here. We have a compression to help the car rotate towards the end of the corner. I'm not even hitting the curb on the left. I think it's faster not hitting the curb on the exit, just making the car smooth. The following kink is easy, flat out. Just make sure you are making the difference. No, sorry. Just try to have not too much um, steering wheel angle. Minimize the steering wheel angle. Try to minimize the distance, but try to minimize the amount of time spent on the curbs as well. Arriving towards the Canada corner. Unfortunately, I missed this one, starting to brake a little bit too late. I've started to brake about 2/3 of the distance between the 4 and the 3. It should be more about half the distance, maybe. So about 5-10 meters before is better. Braking hard 80%, maybe a little bit too hard here. Shifting down to second gear, turning to the right at the 1 panel, reducing the brakes, trying to have a nice rotation. Here I'm a little bit too quick in the entry, and therefore I will need to put back a little bit of brakes again and the steer, unfortunately. I lost about 1/10 doing so. The race line doesn't look bad, but actually the efficiency of the car is affected by this. Using the curb on the inside, we should be back on throttle before the end of the wall here on the right, and be back on full throttle progressively opening the steering wheel, and you see that I'm having a little bit too much steering wheel angle to the right and the steering slightly. Using the full concrete area on the outside without having more than half of the car on the grass here on the left here, because it's making us have enough track. Turning to the left here in the middle of the red and yellow curve, You might need to release a little bit the throttle at the apex in the out lap, but it's full throttle after that, easy. Try to avoid the curb on the outside. There's a bounce on the thing. Fifth gear, try to stay 50% or mid-track as you are starting to brake. Very smooth direction change. And in the middle, between the end of the grass or the end of the road on the right side of the white line here and the beginning of the new tarmac section, maybe two-thirds of the distance about right now is my braking point. I'm slightly turning to the right, so I cannot afford to brake too hard, 50-55% maximum, shifting down to third gear maximum, shifting down to third gear, starting to turn more and more after this white line and the beginning of the curb, change of tarmac 2, reducing the brakes, shifting down to second gear, catching the inside quite early, well, very late in the corner, but actually don't exaggerate too much the movement of a wide line on the entry and you have a tight line on the exit. We need to maintain a little bit of apex speed, using very little brakes to make the car rotate, catching the apex just when the corner is the tightest here. If you will look from the above, here is my apex. I want to be almost full throttle at the apex or just about to do so, getting back on throttle a little bit before, progressively up to 100% full throttle, using the full track. Try not to clip too much the gravel on the outside and get back on track in time in order to avoid the off track on the exit. So that's it for this tutorial video. Thank you very much. You have followed this one. See you next week for the following tutorial. Bye bye.
set your fastest lap of the session. New fastest lap for you. Just set your fastest lap of the session.
Practice on the wrong route here, bro. starting to get Road America figured out here.
That's good.
Until what was that?
New fast flat for you.
You there?
Yeah.
Just set your fastest lap of the session.
Puts me within a second of the VRS time. And then I know I can get faster than that. It's really nice when you look at the telemetry and you're losing like 5 or 6 tenths in one corner. And then you can just go hit that one corner and like make a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Have you driven Road America on here?
Maybe like 5 or 10 laps total.
Yeah, I was losing. You know, there's like that one corner where you're going up the hill, and then there's like the bridge that goes across, and it's like a blind corner, and you can't see shit. I don't know if you remember that, but
Yeah.
that one corner.
Yep.
That, and I was just braking too early for a lot of corners. So
Story of my life.
I was able to cut like a second or 8/10 off my fastest time after watching the little tutorial video.
Always brake too late and brake too hard, which overslows the car. That's like a
Yep.
perpetual problem for me every track.
Yeah, because when I look at the telemetry, it's like it's the like apex speed that sucks.
Mm.
So it's like I'm
Yep.
braking too early, I'm too slow in like not carrying enough speed in the corner.
You know what's crazy? The best thing that's ever happened to me in iRacing has been losing that first Le Mans race.
Yes, sir.
Because ever since then, and running out of fuel, I have been like really focusing on saving, and I'm actually faster now.
Yep.
It's the weirdest thing. And like Spa has been the first track since then where I've been just like pushing the whole time all throughout practice.
Yeah.
And like last night or night before last, I think I was the first time that I tried to switch back into that savings mode, and I ended up being just as fast or slightly faster. So that's I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, I think that's something that we can improve on, all of us.
Yep.
Because we've lost Sebring, I mean 2 or 3 times now,
Yeah.
just because the team that won was better on fuel
So,
than us.
yep. Well, that Le Mans race pissed me off so bad. I was like, I'm not letting that happen again.
I think the one I'm excited for is gonna be Petit Le Mans. I feel like me and you got some unfinished business there,
Yeah.
because we were handing out an absolute ass whooping until that crash.
Yep. I agree. I love that track. It's fun.
I can't
It's,
imagine what it's gonna be like in the LMP2. It's gonna be
oh God. It's
wild.
gonna be physical.
Yeah.
That
I mean, it
track wore
was.
me out. I'm definitely gonna have to dial down the power steering. Like give us some more power steering. Did you download those schemes and run them?
How do I put them into trading paints? Because there's like three.
Yeah. I just uploaded them all three one at a time, and then the last one was the one that I picked.
So
It's the
like,
one that I wanted.
what's the difference between? So there's like three green ones. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, one has IMSA logos, one has iRacing logos, and one has no logos at all.
Ah, okay. Now I see.
So since you're not running XMS, you can just put the IMSA logos on yours. And then there should be one spec map file that you can use for all three of them. But I think so. Like I have Trading Paints Pro,
Yeah, I just got rid of
um,
that.
so it allows me to have like
The
you
cool
could see
spec
your
map.
last 8 used
Ah, okay.
paint schemes. But I think without Pro, you can only have one at a time, so you'll just have to pick whatever color you like the most and upload that one. But I think you can still put the spec map if you don't have Pro.
Let me try it out. Yeah, I got tired of paying for that.
Yeah, I probably need to cancel it. The only reason why I had it is because I tried to use their trading paints paint tool, which is kind of shitty. The tool's kind of shitty, but it allows you to be able to like preview the paint a little easier than if you don't have it.
Yeah. Alright, so that's good. I'm pretty close to.
I kind of feel bad yesterday when I sent the paints out and then I asked the question about, which one do you want to run? That was like the first time it dawned on me that like, oh shit, like Neil paid for this chrome paint job. Maybe he doesn't want to run the
Oh
alligator
yeah, I
paint
see what you're
scheme,
saying.
I didn't even think about that, and now I kind of feel like a bully.
I mean, I think
Like
either
I'm
way.
not I'm not trying to make anyone run a paint scheme. They can do whatever they want. Hope that's not how it's coming across to him. But man, I think that I think this car looks awesome.
I want to see it on the track. See what it looks like. I'm about to load that up. As soon as it'll fucking download ready. There we go.
I put that little logo that I had made on ChatGPT where it has the alligator and the Mardi Gras beads.
Yep.
I put that in the Discord chat and I was like, here's a little sneak peek of some changes coming Monday night. And then I also sent that to Larry and Greg, the two broadcasters. I sent that in a private message to them. So hopefully they'll see that and then during the broadcast they'll
Yeah.
spend a little time like showing it off during the stream.
Yeah. If you win, I think you got to shout out the guy who made the paint.
Yeah, I saw he snuck his company logo onto the car, which I'm totally fine with. I'm glad. I'd love to give him a little advertising.
What color are you running?
Green.
What color is Neil gonna run? Is he gonna run the chrome or is he gonna run a different paint?
I don't know. He didn't really give a conclusive response to that one. I would imagine he'd probably do yellow if he did do the alligator.
All right. Then I'm gonna look at the purple.
But man, like I've got it loaded up right now on my screen, and like when you get up close to it, this dude really did a jam up job. Like he put some crazy intricate designs into this thing that you really can't appreciate until you get up close to it.
Where is? How do I add that spec map?
It's a .mip file.
Well, like, so I'm in trading paints. Add
Yeah,
default or add spec map. There it is.
add spec now, yeah. And then use the one that says alligator markings, alligator no markings spec.
I see alligator IMSA MIP, alligator
Oh, I'm
iRacing
sorry.
MIP, and then alligator
Yeah,
no markings MIP.
use the iRacing MIP if that's
I did
the
IMSA
one.
for my.
I mean IMSA, yeah, sorry. I thought he only made one spec map, but I guess I'm wrong.
Let's see.
And then you'll have to like close the Trading Paints app and then reopen it so it downloads the new paint. And then you should be able to open up iRacing, go into paint, and if it doesn't load up, then I had to like open a test session load the car into the test session,
Well, that's what I'm gonna do
drive the
anyway.
car.
I'm gonna go look at it in the actual sim. Yeah,
But I
road.
love how, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I love how on the roof where he does the like the purple and gold on the scales on the roof. It's like they're like chrome looking metallic. Looks awesome.
Um, yeah, Road America seems pretty straightforward, except for maybe the carousel was kind of the trickiest part, I think.
Yeah, there's no real visual markers on when to turn, where to lift, and
Yeah.
the only one is like on exit where to get back on the gas.
Dude, this guy.
Man, he really went all out on this. Like if you zoom in on this
What are you
on the
doing,
scales,
dude?
they're not just like squares. Like he frayed the edges of the squares to make it look like little tears, and then he put scales within scales, and it just looks awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It looks better in the game than it does in the pictures you sent. Like in the on the track, it actually looks like scales.
Oh shit, yeah. I'm looking at it on your YouTube stream. It's kind of fuzzy though. Damn, that purple does look good. Better than I thought.
That's crazy, man. How do you do this shit?
Doesn't that look badass? Holy shit. Like those big scales toward the top that have little scales
Yeah,
inside of the big
yeah,
scales.
this whole like what he did with this going back, like look at it from the back of the car. Like,
Oh no.
dude,
And it switches to like dots from squares to like circles on the
like
back.
when you're back here, like behind us, like that looks like alligator scales.
Yeah. The dude said I don't know where he lives. I guess he's in Europe or something. And he
See, I
was
don't know what the
like,
fuck alligator is.
Yeah, they don't have alligators." So he told me he like did a bunch of research online and he learned all about reptiles and scales and I was
And
like, "Damn."
it's insane.
My only the only thing that I felt like maybe he kind of cut corners on, and it's really not even that big of a deal, is the teeth are all just like the same triangle over and over again.
Yeah,
I think I would have tried to make the teeth a little more realistic, like have some,
some like contrast to them, like some
yeah, like longer, shorter. I mean, some of them I guess are a little bit different, but
or like some little
they,
like shading kind of.
yeah, make them look more realistic. Like the whole car looks amazing, but then the teeth just look like an afterthought.
I I'm kind of torn between that or kind of like the old school like Spitfire type teeth is kind of like what those look like to me. Like just
Yeah,
like if you look at like I guess they're different sizes, but they're just like there's no like shading or contrast. They're just like
right. Cartoony.
yeah.
And that new logo looks pretty good too.
Yep. Yeah, whatever color y'all don't pick, I'll just run that one, and that way we're in sessions together.
Oh, that guy at my wife's work, um, that picture that I sent of the little desk ornament thing, he wasn't finished with it. That was just like the outer housing of it. He still has to try to make the back. And so I told him that, we wanted to try to mount it on the wall if that was something he can do. If not, don't worry about it. So he said he was going to try to do something with it. But whenever he gets finished with it, oh, and I realized that I forgot John Horry on the logo. So I was like,
I mean,
I'll buy the I'll buy the prototype from you, but for the other ones that we make, um, use this other logo. So I remade it and I put John Horry's name on it. So I plan to, when he makes the other ones, I'm gonna get all y'all's addresses and mail them to you.
yeah, this car's sick. I might load the other color now.
Yeah, love that green. Oh boy, that thing looks good. All of them. The yellow looks amazing too. They all look fantastic. The purple one was the one that I liked the least, but now that I see it in game, it actually looks way better. Oh yeah, it says you can load up to three paints without Pro.
I'm just gonna switch them all out, and then I'll go in and refresh this. Come on, you piece of shit. Guess I'll restart trading. Hoo-wee! Damn. That is sick.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, when I first sent that ChatGPT image to him of the alligator car, and his response was, "Yeah, that's like overly complicated. I won't be able to do that, but I'll like here's some examples of my previous work and I'll try to do my best." And so I was like, I was a little heartbroken because I was looking at the preview, the other examples he sent me, and I didn't really see anything that sparked my interest. I kind of had my doubts. I mean, I was always impressed with the blending that he did on the chrome paint job, but I just kind of had reservations of would he be able to actually satisfy me after I saw the ChatGPT image. But man, this like way above what I was expecting.
Let's look at the gold one.
How was your family in Mississippi? They all doing good?
Yeah, man. So my granny turned 90. Her birthday is on July 4th. And I mean, that lady, she drives, she mows her own yard, She talks a bunch of shit like she always has.
Tough old bird.
Um, yeah, I mean, every time whenever I talk to her, if she went to the doctor, she'll like go over like her lab results and stuff with me. And like, honest to God, her lab work, if I went and got my labs drawn, probably better than mine. Like, it's just insane. And so I was like, um, it's like, so what's your doctor saying? She's like, he said like for somebody my age that he's never seen anybody with the lab work this good. And I was like, well, so I can't remember what I said next, but she was like, but I told him like that's great and all, but my bones and my muscles ain't worth a shit. Man, these things are so cool.
Holy crap, that yellow looks even better in the game.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like looking at the pictures, I felt like it wasn't gonna do it justice. Once you get it in the game and you look at it, like,
Damn.
almost wish like, I guess I'm kind of thinking here, but maybe like if the teeth were a little more exaggerated on the front or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe if it came up more. I don't know. But those look pretty. It looks pretty cool. Like he's got nostrils.
Yeah, he said the front of the LMP2 car made it so difficult because there's no real surfaces to use.
Yeah. I wish you could paint this bottom splitter with some teeth. That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd put a little pig in his mouth for Noah Hogg. Put a little
Noah
pig
Hogg,
caught in his teeth with some blood on it.
he looks like he's got some competition there in old GT3 AM.
Yeah, man. I think he come in like fourth or fifth in that last race.
Yeah, they look like they got a pretty strong field.
I suspect that happens every season. Like some new driver joins in that should be in pro but they don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that happening with this other guy.
Yeah,
Like
there's been
he
the
like
last
won
couple
every fucking
seasons.
race and people were starting to complain.
Yeah, Corey Sircone, he's one of them.
That Chester Guidry, I'm telling
Yeah, that one too. But I was never better than about a eighth or ninth place pro guy.
you. Yeah, and that's why I was interested in those rankings. Like,
Yeah,
if they have that kind of system, then they should be moving people up and down divisions based on that.
yeah, and that's their goal. They told us that they built this new ranking system and they were going to be piloting it based on last season's performance and this season's performance, and then they're going to implement it next season to place people in their class. But I don't have that problem anymore because LMP only has one class.
Yep.
What part of me does, and this is why I downloaded that GTP the other day, is part of me wants to see how I would do against those people.
Yeah, I think we're just following our iRacing career path right now.
Yeah.
Started GT4, won some races there. Went to GT3, did good. Won Daytona. Or in the LMP2, had some good results. Still looking for that win.
Yeah, well, what kind of sucks is um like I want competition, you know? I don't want to go out there and win every race by 15 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna have that in LMP2 because looking at LMP2 the last few seasons, it's always been very competitive. They have full fields, but as soon as I get into it, only like 6 people show up to the race, even though 15 are signed up. And then the competition, while like Jordan and Milan and Neil have all been very fast, the few races that we've raced, they've all made mistakes, which made me be able to check out on them. So hopefully in the remaining races, maybe they won't um, make those mistakes and it'll be a lot closer.
So, yeah, I see what you're saying.